Hey everyone, it's Reason here.
And Vice.
Yep, and Vice, to bring you a little message before our meeting. I would like to remind you that these are our personal opinions and as such will differ from yours. We do not claim any expertise.
Except me.
Except Vice. We are simply expressing our ideas and feelings as fellow fans and readers. Furthermore, we would love to see you point out your own ideas and feelings below.
Do we really?
Well, I certainly do. So long as you keep it, and I cannot stress this enough, civil in the comment section.
Or else I get a hold of you, and we don't want that.
We really don't want that. I can't keep paying bail, guys. Now, without further delay, please enjoy the following episode of the AniVid Fanfiction Book Club.
Let's get going.
Hey everyone, it's Reason here, and I'm the change that you found at the bottom of the washing machine that you get to keep, take to Coinstar, save up, take to Coinstar, and then buy yourself something nice.
And I'm the family members that decide to ask you for money all the time.
Well, generosity is key. That's all I have to say. Generosity is key. Give out to the universe and you shall receive.
Not if they do it all the time.
Okay, maybe not if they do it all the time, but... yeah, so, yes, welcome to another episode of the AniVid Fanfiction Book Club! Yay! Round of applause. My hand is literally going in a circle. I am a child.
And if I was there, I'd punch you.
Oy. She would. She really would. Alrighty. So, let's get right into the meat of the situation. Today we are talking about Marichat Sin by XX Lady Noir XX. A story that was a fanfiction from the Miraculous Ladybug universe. And our description was only Mary Annette, I love you. And that was it. We had some tags, and then there was like some warnings about there being smut.
Reason you messed it up. It's Mary, my princess, I love you.
I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me. I just assumed because it was short and I thought I could remember. My bad.
Me.
But here we have Vice to save the day. Dee-dee!
I'm always here. You'll never get rid of me.
And I'm not gonna try, because I'm fairly certain it would only make things worse. So, let's get right into this discussion, because Vice and I have a lot to talk about, and I guess a bit of forewarning to the author and anyone reading. It may come off that we are being especially hard on you, but I recently found out, like I was looking through your author's notes at the end of the story, that I did not.
Vice
did not have to, because author's notes. I found out that you're a very young author. You're a very young author. You're 14. And I wasn't sure how old you were. I had my suspicions that you were young. But there was, yeah, so definitely you're young, and we are going to be here to help you the best that I can, or the best that we can. And then hopefully Vice isn't too mean. And if Vice comes off mean, I will happily translate what Vice is saying to what they want to say without the meanness. Yeah.
He's my personal translator.
Really? I mean, fuckface is a term of endearment, I swear.
Yeah.
So, Vice, would you like to take the first piece here?
Not really, no.
Alright.
Let's just say this. As I was reading, I took small notes. I don't know where they belong, but I took small notes.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Well, okay, let's see. Let's just say, you need to slow down.
Yeah, that is first.
Everything that I read within the first couple of chapters was boom, like straight on through, and it's just like, holy crap! Like oh, this is happening, this is happening. Slow down.
Absolutely. That's one of my biggest things is that as an author, you need time to let us breathe. Like, even in, like, punctuation and, like, with commas and stuff like that, like, to break up the sentences and the flow even helped, because there were times where it's like, oh, maybe a comma should have been here and it would have made sense. Like, that would help better so the eye doesn't just keep flying through and details are missed. But to be fair, to look at the story of what was there and what you wanted to do shows that there was promise. There definitely was promise. There were notions and ideas that were actually, like, I was like, that's actually not bad. Like, I thought there were some really enjoyable things, but the pacing of it made it too hard to focus on any one thing for too long.
Yes. So yeah, slow down. Another thing that I would like to, or two more things. One, research is really key. Like, if you really want to learn something, do your research on it first before you start writing about it, because then you'll have people come in and it's just like, oh no, that's completely wrong. This is completely wrong, and other stuff like that. You didn't have all too much stuff to research on, but it would have helped if you just picked, like, a small little topic within this, and you know, did research on it, like the feeling, like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Reason.
I think I do.
But yeah, so research is key.
Well, I mean, you could just say what it is. That way it's brought to the author's attention.
Well, okay, so whenever someone has a miscarriage, nobody really got that she had one until you brought up the fact that she did. But, you know, if you put in more details on the emotions someone goes through when after they have one of these, because normally they're not happy.
You'd be hard pressed to find someone who is.
They aren't happy. You'll find people who are really hard pressed that are. And also research on heart diseases.
That was the notion of it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. One thing I really liked was the fact that you had it. That's why he was never allowed to be out. And I believe that the way you were seeing it is that he's able to do these things fairly solidly because he's normally pretty healthy, but the problem was that it could happen at any time, and his father would want him to be kept around because he doesn't want to lose his son like he lost his wife, which is what's an implied thing that happened. Like, his wife, like his dead wife comes back in the story, which is actually interesting because of the fact that's actually one of, like, the ideas of what people want. Like, people, like, in the fandom, they think that Hawkmoth is, as you know, is Adrian's father, and his wife and his mom died, and they're trying to
even in the miraculous show, it never says she dies. It just says she disappeared. That's all it says. It never says she died. She's just gone.
Interesting.
So they did have this. They did have it to where she was gone, but she did come back.
Using the powers of the miraculous with how the whole ladybug and the cat miraculous, how those two came together to do it. The problem was that scene was supposed to be like a big thing, but it happened again. It just goes back to one of the big problems was that your pacing was too fast. It's not to say that your ideas were bad. I think that you had, again, I will still say, I think you had a lot of promise in showing what you wanted to do, but I think you wanted to get there too quickly. Like, you wanted everything to be out there as soon as possible, and to be fair, that makes sense. There's some people that just, they think of it and they need to put it out there as fast as they can, but sometimes that gets lost. Like, one thing...
If that's the point, if they just wanted to get this out there, just had to get this out there, then something that you should do is, if you just want something to get out there and really fast get out there just to get out of your head, rewrite it. Like, I could I could see you going back and rewriting the story to where probably it's going to be a lot more chapters. If you do your pacing right, it'll be a lot more chapters. But it'd be a lot, you don't want it too slow and you don't want it too fast. With writing, it has to be balanced. It has to be so balanced to make it a great story. And the thing is whenever you make a great story, most great stories is someone writing for themselves.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
A lot of people write for themselves, and other people like it. But if you go back and rewrite this story and slow down some of the stuff, you'll have probably a lot more chapters. You could probably go in and add a little bit more detail, take some detail away. Again, it's all about balance. So balance it.
And one of the things that actually me and Vice had discussed before going on was like what kind of, advice we could give you as fellow writers ourselves. One of the biggest assets that I have found in any writing that I have is to have a critique partner, someone that you're able to bounce ideas off and that they can read what you have and they can direct you, because it's one thing to have the ideas in your own mind and then develop them that way. But then if you're able to give them to someone else, you have a different perspective. You're able to get out of that echo chamber in your mind that, oh, this is the only thing. There could be, even if you don't like what the person has to say, they can still offer a different point of view that could change your direction of what you wanted. It doesn't have to be in what they say, but it could influence you to only be better. And another thing would be that, it's what was I gonna get at? Critique partners, find someone. Like, the thing is that you have a lot of people, you have a lot of reads on your story. That's absolutely for sure. But to go in and you would be able to add more would allow you to have more readers and more people to see this. Like, because the fact that, you're still so young and this is still a very recent story, that you have a lot of room to grow and a lot of chances to get better. And I think that only by more practice and then going back and rereading your old stuff and seeing, because, you're out of the moment. It's like whenever you're drawing something, you're able to look at it and sketch it and it's like, oh, this is so great. And then you put it down and you walk away, you go eat lunch or something, and then you come back and you're able to see, all right, I can change this eye shape a little differently. I can have this hair. I can have this finger differently. And they're just little things that you're able to disconnect it from being in the moment that allow you to go back and see any mistakes and also your highlights.
In the business, we call it an editor.
But those things are expensive. A professional editor. I will definitely say professional editor, not for fan fiction.
No, professional editor would probably not understand what you're talking about.
Unless they were like a huge nerd too.
Well, unless they're like me, like my goal is to be a writer, but I'm going to school to be an editor. So, and I'm someone that like kind of grew up with fan fiction ish in a way.
And I think that this medium is special in that it's still relatively, it's still relatively young by comparison to other things, like normal books, like they've been written for a long time, and now you have this new thing, relatively speaking, that comes in, and there's anyone that can upload what they want. And I think that there is a very generous community, and I'm sure you clearly have a lot of friends, like the way that you were talking to your author's notes. You have people that you talk to on this website, and I'm sure there are people that'd be willing and more than happy to help you. And then, but also the big thing also is you have to also be willing to know that they might also come to you for this same kind of thing. It's like a give and a take. You give them ideas, they give you ideas. They give you things to look at and read, you give them things to look at and read. And it only makes everyone better in the end. Unless, of course, you find someone that's too sensitive and then they take everything and then they're like, oh, I'm just going to delete everything. It's like, that's not what we're trying to get at. We're trying to... Because I've encountered people like that, and it's like, well, shit. I'm just trying to help you. I just want you to develop a better character. Yeah, one thing I actually have to really like that you did, is that you did have an author insert, and usually author inserts can be really cringy, but you did yours well. Your insert was not a character that was too passive and not part of the story, but definitely had a reason to be there. But it's not like they came in and saved the day and then was never seen again. Like, you didn't do anything like that, because I've read some that are just... That is not how you insert yourself into a story, basically. But what you did was definitely right. It was not... This is also a message to anyone who's reading this, like, oh yeah, you can definitely put yourself as a cameo in the thing. A lot of people like to do that because it's like, oh, it's my signature in this story on top of me writing it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's basically just, yeah, I saw that too, and I was just like, oh, yeah, because I whenever this character came in, I was just like, wait, this is not a character that's actually part here. Oh, okay, this is actually the author themselves. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Still. Like, I'm sorry, but like the last few chapters, they got confusing for me. I skimmed.
To be fair, yeah, there was your story, like there was like a notion of there being a travel to Greece that like came forward and came back, and it was I think what part of the problem was is that you wanted to do a lot in a short amount of time because you felt like you were probably pressed for time and that you were uploading things and you had a lot of people that were reading it and enjoying it, and you felt probably some kind of pressure to make sure you had everything going and you wanted to keep continuity, which, to be fair, is better that you actually address the situation with the Greece trip than to bring it up and then never bring it up again. Like, you were just like, forget about it, I'm just going to drop it off and then never bring it back. At least it did come forward, which shows that you wanted to at least keep that level of continuity, which some people, when they're first starting, are just like, well, it's a detail probably everyone missed, but there's people that don't miss it. And then it's like, well, the heck.
There's a lot of detail that I want to think you thought we missed, but we didn't.
Like, I know you didn't miss.
No, if there's anything I can get a hold of, then I get a hold of it.
I think that the story itself, I mean, it
has a good premise. Like, it had a good
It definitely has a good premise about things, them being older and them trying to find out themselves and to be in love and all that kind of stuff. But I think the delivery of it was a bit too fast. Like, I mean, what was it? Like, in chapter 2, she was already pregnant, and then in chapter 4, she had a miscarriage, and then, like, the way that her father was, like, Adrian's father was addressed, and he was, like, super chill with it, and it was just, like, very, very fast, very sudden. Like, I think there could have been...
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. He was very chill, and that's not within his character. Like, Gabriel Agreste is not a chill guy. He has no chill at all.
No, he's kind of a dick.
No chill at all. I kind of like how you made him nicer.
Part of me thinks it's like, it was probably like a way to, that way he wasn't a complete ass in the story, because, again, this kind of situation would only be made worse if his father was an asshole. But I think one of the things that could have helped would be a confrontation between Adrian and his father about, this is my life, what are you doing? I am older, I'm an adult, I'm learning, and like, you can't, like, I love this woman, like the whole like melodramatic, like, but Dad, I love her, and it's like, you don't know love, you're a child. It's like, how do you know love? Mom walked out on us because of you. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
As you could tell, Reason loves the drama.
I'm melodramatic as all fuck, and yes, I did just completely pull that out of my ass 2 seconds ago. Even if it is cliche, it just came to me, and I was like, yeah, that's a thing. I'm gonna definitely say that.
Definitely say that, yeah. Within the story, it made a lot, like, there was, if anything, there's a way too much and way too little. Like, there's way too much information and way too little time.
Like, I think, yeah, like, there was too much that was happening, but there wasn't enough time to develop and show that it was going on. Like, I mean, there were things, like, about a fashion show that came in and then came out. Like, it was about it, and then it made sense, and then it was gone. And then there was a red carpet, and it was there, and it was gone. And it was, like, this, and then gone, this, and then gone. Like, it was, like, there were speeding cars of ideas that were running through you. Like, this story, like, it almost seems like it could be broken up into 2 to maybe even 3 other stories.
If the author wants to give us more information on their, like,
updated schedule and stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So basically, I was saying is that if the author wants to give us an idea of how often they posted, and because again, we read it whenever it's completed, and it kind of doesn't tell us when they posted.
It only tells us when it started, and then I think that's it. That's all the details we get on Wattpad's website. Well, from the app, and like there were like. I think that, it could easily be, if we saw how fast they were uploading, if it was like once a day, once every other day, then, it would explain a lot that they wanted to just crank out this thing. Because it's, all things considered, the story is pretty long. Like, it does have a lot of parts, and the things aren't like, they're not like short. I mean, some are short chapters, but like, compared to some of the other things that we've read, they're like not as short. Like, there was definitely a lot that they had just like kept cranking out and keep throwing out there. But like maybe some time to look back and then read it over again and then be like, all right, I need to change this, and then also maybe add this here, add this comma, add this period. But like one of the biggest things I think one of the problems also is that the functionality of Wattpad doesn't always allow this, is the way that you have to break up the what's it called? The paragraphs. So that way the conversations can flow a little bit easier, so that way you're not stuck trying to figure out who is talking to who and how things are being said.
Mm-hmm. If it to give more details on the story, let's go with what happens is that Adrian and one thing is that people find out about Marionette.
That's completely true. I completely forgot about that.
Adrian's identity. So basically, everyone knows that. Oh, they're Ladybug and Chat Noir. How whenever they first brought up this fact that people started to know, the first question was, who the hell saw these 2D transform and shit like that?
Did we ever find out who told them? Who told the news?
It was like a camera. It was like a camera, and it heard them talking. I don't even think it really saw them. It was basically heard them talking. Is how they figured that out.
I'll do it.
And stuff like that. And whenever that first was brought up, I was like, "Who the fuck?"
Alright, so we've had another set of technical difficulties. Unfortunately, Vice's Wi-Fi currently is being hogged up by someone and is not exactly the best, where her location to the house to where the Wi-Fi thing is. So we're going to be on the phone. It's not going to sound that great, but we're going to try our best to finish off the episode, well, not the episode, but this discussion with being on the phone. Hopefully you'll be able to understand Vice. And the last thing you were talking about was how I was wondering how the heck Adrian was walking around in that Chat Noir outfit for as long as he did, because that thing is skin tight.
Well, what? Like, they said that he had to get special clothes just to go to Greece for, swimsuits and other stuff like that. And it's just like, well, this is magic.
I love that explanation. It's magic.
How do you explain magic and change clothes with magic? If anything, I would have seen them going to, Master Fu.
Hey, we need new clothes for Chat. Why? Well, because if he gets out of this form, he will literally die.
He will literally die.
So, okay, so here's the explanation I got in that scene, was the Chat Noir had to remain in his cat form because basically he had a cat heart, which gave him 9 times the amount of hearts that would give out before they gave out, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Which is an interesting concept. I like the notion that they actually have, even more things attached to them, from their, namesake animal. Whatever, I mean, obviously there's a whole thing about bad luck with Chat Noir, and then apparently ladybugs are lucky in some cultures, so that's that. Then why not have that, that Chat Noir has 9 lives, or 9 cat hearts?
Well, what I got was that it wasn't 9 cat hearts. It was basically that he was more like a cat now. That he had not 9 cat hearts, but 9 lives.
Well, yeah, no, I'm what I mean is oh, look, his heart's about to give out, but then it's one of his lives, and voila. Now the question remains: does he only have 9 in total? Does the 9 reset every time he transforms?
That's a good question.
Probably something that the author might be able to answer for us if we ask them.
Maybe. But, alright, so let's sum up this episode real fast.
Well, I suppose. I mean, again, it may seem like we're crapping on you and we're not giving you enough credit or anything, but we're just trying to help you. We want you to be better because I see definite glimmers that you have a lot of potential as long as you are willing to harness that, to polish it, and to also work with someone to make it better, to help you edit your stuff, and obviously, just grow. It's not a one-person process to write well.
Well, okay, let's, if anything, from the beginning, I was confused. And then I saw your progress grow. And then at a certain point, I kind of saw it decrease, and that's where I think you got a lot more a lot more people who wanted to read more and everything like that, to where it's just like, oh, I need to pop them out real fast. So you have the potential to be good.
Easily. It's there's some people that when you see what they write and their ideas, it's just like, well, okay, that's kind of a rehashing of what's going on in the story, but this is definitely like, I want to take my own spin. I do appreciate the fact you had this happen when they're older and like there are other things going on. Like it didn't all happen when they were like 13 or 14 or however they all in the show. That was definitely a good choice on your part, because there's some people that would have all this happen when they're this young. So definitely kudos to you there.
Yes, and me and Reason keep bringing up the fact there is a story out there that we wish we could both shit on. Well, I do, but he won't let me. You are better than this story. Be glad. Be glad. Be so grateful that you are better than this story.
I fear for the day that we get a story that could potentially be worse than this one, than that story.
But yeah, you're better, so kudos to you.
Kudos to you. Again, if you have someone that you look up to that is around your same level, but like a little bit higher, always strive to look for people that are better, and that are obviously willing to work with you too. Don't work with someone who's just like going to be like a dick about it and not get back to you about your stuff. No, find someone that you trust and are willing to work with. Like, definitely, it's one of those things where, it's a matter of putting in work, but you can't do it alone. Like, this is not a one-person process. I know a lot of people think that you're supposed to write, you can only write by yourself, and if you get any other help, then you're not a real author. I say, fuck those people. And if one of the things you're concerned about is taking too long and people not wanting to read your story because you're taking too long to update, if I may pull a Vice, fuck them. If they don't want to stick around, then they clearly don't matter. Excellence cannot be rushed. That is my motto of getting up and doing things in the morning or doing anything, because apparently I take too long for a lot of things, but I just say you can't rush perfection. As you can see, I have an ego the size of planet Earth. Why are you giggling so much? What are you giggling at?
You.
What about me?
You're just so funny.
I feel like I should be offended.
If I may pull a Vice. So funny.
So funny. Yeah, I think that is, I think that's, for the most part, I think that's the end of it. I mean, no, to you, XX Lady Noir XX, I think that you have the potential, and you just need to put the more work, and you're still young, so it's not like it's, and basically it doesn't matter how old you are, but like, being 35 and like talking like a teenager in your language, I mean, that's a little bit odd. Also kind of like, because you didn't grow up in the generation. Again, that's a weird place that my brain went, but no, you're very young and you have a lot of potential. You just need to, it's there. You just got to polish what you have and just maybe rework it to what you'd like to see better, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that I have helped layer on any pain that I may have thrown at you, or me and Vice have made it seem like we don't care, but we are firm because we want people to be better. We want, well, I know I do. I think Vice partly, I'd like to believe that Vice deep down wants to see people be better.
I want better stories out there so I can rate them.
Okay, so it's a selflessly selfish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we are going to head on to the next section. Hey everyone, it's Reason here. Yep, just Reason, with a bit of an announcement. We are going to be on a minor, technically, hiatus, because I know that in 2 weeks, or more, like 2 weeks ago, we said we were going to have a game show happening in a week, and then that didn't happen, and now we're saying here that it's not going to happen next 2 weeks, but 3 weeks. So things are just going to be pushed like 1 week ahead, because some stuff has come up, but don't worry, everything's fine. We'll be back on schedule after that. We'll have stories, we'll have everything great to go, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button. If you want, check out notifications. Enjoy our old videos and make sure to check those out, read the stories. Yeah, with all that, there's not much else to say. So yeah, just to reiterate, stay tuned. In 3 weeks, we will be having the game show episode finally happen. And then at the end of that, we will announce our new story to be reading. So yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye.